What's going on, guys? Dennis Sullivan here, Sports Snippets. Time for another Eastern Conference update. How the heck have you been? Hope you're doing well. Enjoyed providing you with an Eastern Conference NBA update about a week ago. So you know what? We're gonna just do it again. We're gonna roll through these teams real quick. I'm going to give you my analysis of where they're at, where I think they could easily finish. And I want to do another one also for the Western Conference, maybe keep this up as somewhat of a weekly type process until we head into the playoffs. And then, of course, that opens up a whole other can of worms and topics to discuss. So let's get started. By the way, if you do like the contents of this particular video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up. That would be awesome. You can also subscribe to Sports Snippets Dennis Sullivan as well. Hit that notification bell for future videos. Let's get started, guys. So, as we go into, if I bring up, and I know I will, plenty of win-loss type scenarios, records. This is going into the games on the 20th of April. Philadelphia 76ers, Eastern Conference, that is still your leader at a record of 39-18. They are a game ahead of the Brooklyn Nets. Milwaukee holding on strong to that third spot, 35-22. And then is where all the congestion still reigns in this conference. 31-26 for the Hawks, and then you got 31-27 for Boston Celtics and New York Knicks. Miami Heat, one game behind them at 30-28. Charlotte, 28-28. Guys, those would be your playoff teams if the season ended today, or at least on April 20th. Indiana on the outside looking in at 26-31, which sounds lousy, but you know what? They're only 2.5 games behind Charlotte with about 15 games left. That's still a workable situation. Even though, if you were to ask me, okay, 5 seconds, who's the biggest underachieving team in the NBA this year? I'm going to tell you, boom, point blank, Indiana Pacers. But even with that being said, the Pacers are fully capable of coming back, bouncing back, and winning 5 out of 6. Something like that. 7 out of 9. Something of that magnitude. And keep in mind, for those teams that are kind of looking nice right now, like Atlanta, Boston, New York, even Miami Heat, it could swing in one direction or the other. And if there's one point I want to leave you with this video, it's that all it could take is a lose 3 out of 4 scenario, and your whole world changes in the standings, even with the small amount of time that's left of about 15 or so games. The only teams that are really safe right now are the Sixers, the Nets, and the Bucks. And the more I think about it, if there's one thing I'm sure of, for some crazy reason, is that the Bucks are destined to get the 3rd seed. That's probably the only thing I would predict, is that the Bucks will get the 3rd seed. They're about 3 games behind the Nets, right, between the 2nd and 3rd seed, and they're about 4 games up on Atlanta. So they're right there in their own little 3rd seed world, you know, kind of winning a few games here, losing a few here. Oh, okay, Giannis, you're not 100%. We don't want you to. Don't go out tonight. That's cool. That's cool. We're not going to have you play tonight. We'll sit this one out. As long as we got our 3rd seed, kind of, nestled in that spot. And I could see that happen. And I said this in so many words. I said the same thing last video a week ago. I could just see them in that 3rd spot. Brooklyn, I thought the Nets were more than a game out. I was thinking a game and a half without looking at this. A game and a half, 2 games. It's only a game because the Sixers lost. That's right. Okay. Their last game. Atlanta Hawks are arguably the story, or the team that has just picked themselves up since the All-Star break. They were hot right out of the All-Star break, and they've stayed hot. They've won 7. Make that 8 out of their last 10. They're looking strong, guys. They're averaging about 113.5 points a game. I like what I'm seeing, and I like what I'm seeing from the Celtics as well. They've also won 8 of their last 10. But you see, even with all this great play, you got the Celtics winning 8 of their last 10, looking really good. They're still only a game ahead of the Heat. And the Knicks too. So, I mean, the Knicks have won 7 of their last 10. So you got the Knicks, the Celtics, and Atlanta just pushing it strong to the finish line. But do all 3 of those teams have enough to finish out strong? See, that's going to get, that question will be answered for us in these next few weeks. The Heat at 30 and 28, I mean, we'll see how that goes. As you guys know, I do a lot of videos on the Heat. I like some of the things I see. Lately, I'm almost under the impression, are they going to push for the 5th seed? I mean, they're only a game behind Boston, who would, if the season ended on Tuesday, or if it ended on the 20th, Boston would have the 5th seed. The Heat are only a game behind Boston and a game and a half behind Atlanta. And I don't know about you guys, there's a heck of a big difference this year in the Eastern Conference between a 7th and a 5th seed. I'm sorry, guys. Because if the season ended right now, Miami would be playing the Nets in the first round, whereas Boston will be playing Atlanta. I'll ask you to comment below, who would you rather play in the first round, the Hawks or the Nets? So let me know your answer right there. The Heat should be like, everyone should be playing like at least 35 minutes, in my opinion. I mean, they should be making a big charge to get that 5th seed at the very least. 6th seed's going to get you, in all likelihood, that's going to get you the Bucks. That's going to get you the Bucks. So, and of course, this is just the way I'm seeing it. There's still a lot to be played. Philadelphia, they just seem like, I can't see them not getting the 1 seed, and I know they're only a game up though. I really thought it was a little bit more. But the way Embiid's played, and you got some good veterans on that team. Ben Simmons now, definitely with good experience. Tobias Harris. They play pretty good defense. They allow around 108 points a game, which is good in today's NBA. The only team with the Heat are a little bit better, a little over 107, allowing a game. The Knicks, of those teams in the playoff chase, 104.5 points allowed per game. That's the best, but that's a little bit misleading. Here's why. They only score 106.5, which is lowest average of the teams that are competing for a playoff spot. So are the Knicks a tough, scrappy defensive team? Absolutely. And you know what? That's a Thibodeau-led team. They get a lot of credit. Thibodeau is a really good coach. He's one of the best coaches in the league. But you know what? I just don't know if they have enough. I just don't know if they have enough to win a playoff series. We'll have to find that out in the weeks to come. I would say they've made great strides. They get tons of credit, as does Thibodeau, but I don't see them getting out of the first round should they make the playoffs, and it looks like they have a great chance to do so. I would like to thank the Detroit Pistons, the Orlando Magic, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Toronto Raptors for their participation in the regular season of the 2021 NBA regular season. You can also throw the Washington Wizards in that conversation as well. And while we're at it, we can also thank the Chicago Bulls for their participation in this year's NBA regular season, barring, a major turnaround. Sure, if the Bulls win 10 in a row, they're right back in it, but you have to win 10 in a row first. If Chicago, Washington, Toronto win 10 in a row, they're like right back in it. But that something like that literally would have to happen. You might as well forget it if you're a Cavalier fan, Orlando fan, or Detroit Piston fan. It's over. Look forward to next year, guys. Hey, you get a good pick, you get a good draft pick, and you move on from there, right? So that's very interesting to me. Charlotte, if you noticed, for a while, if we go back to March, Charlotte was making some moves. I was kind of, by moves I mean they were winning games, they were moving up in the standings. They're a little bit more vulnerable now. This kind of, it's almost like they're wobbling here towards the finish line. They're kind of, they've lost some steam, and I'm telling you right now, they're like just ripe to get overtaken by Indiana. But I'm telling you guys, it's up to the Pacers. They have the ability. You got two top-rated players that could lead any team pretty much into a playoff position in Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis. I mean, those are two really good players, guys. Those are all-stars. Come on. Those are top-notch players. So this gets more and more and more interesting. Trae Young's such a rising star in this league. If the season ended today, it would be an Atlanta-Boston first-round matchup. Another question I have for you guys out there to comment. Of course, you got to leave me some comments here. Have the Celtics, the Hawks, and the Knicks, have they peaked, or is this what we're going to pretty much see in the last 14, 15 games of the season? Boston, I think, is, of those three teams, that is the most, I don't want to say sure thing, but if I had to pick a team to finish 4th or 5th seed of those three, I would say Boston. I think Boston's got a little more depth, a little bit more strength inside. They have a nice mixture of youth and veteran leadership. They still have, of course, Kemba Walker is a really good player. He provides them with leadership. They have a nice balanced team. I like Boston. They have a good coach. But Atlanta's up and coming, so we'll see, guys. This is getting very interesting. Milwaukee, I'm telling you right now, that's the only prediction I'm making. If I'm going to make one prediction, they're going to finish 3rd. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it a mile away. And then the Heat should be throwing everything into these games to get that 5th seed. Okay? Let me know what you think of that as well. And that's about it. That's a lot, though. That's a lot. You know me. I can go for at least 10 minutes on this stuff. I'll keep rolling along. But leave me some comments. Going to make a few more videos over the weekend. We're going to talk about the Heat. I want to do a Western Conference update as well. Check out those standings, where teams are at, where they're going, all that good stuff. Season will be over in a few short weeks. So before you know it, it's playoff time. This is Dennis Sullivan saying bye for now. I thank you for watching this video and have a great rest of your day.